100 acres open and 450 acres of woodland. So when you look here to our west, this is the westernmost edge of the Shenandoah Valley, the Blue Ridge being the eastern side. It's about 30 miles wide at this location. We get about 30 inches of rainfall a year, so it's a kind of a dry area. Outside the valley, either direction, the rainfall goes up about 10 inches. Charlottesville and West Virginia, respectively. So we have been in a very dry spell lately. We got that real bad storm last weekend and had all sorts of stuff go crazy, fluttering in different directions, and got everything pretty well put back together by this weekend. But anyway, so our boundary fence is right here behind us. This little tree line here behind us is our boundary fence. So that's the neighbor's property over here on the right-hand side, and this is ours on the straight ahead. We go up to the top of Little North Mountain there, the horizon, and that's where all the woodland obviously is. We have pigs up through there. We selective harvest timber for our own use personally with our own bandsaw mill, and manage that on a regenerative basis. You know, touch 2 to 4 acres a year over the whole period, and very small. So I think we got that covered over 400 acres, but we're not going to get to all that in my lifetime. So that's kind of the idea of the farm. My grandparents bought it in 1961. So last year was our 50th anniversary, so that's pretty cool. My grandmother's still alive. My grandfather passed away quite a few years ago. So right now with my children, we have 3 children, 8, 6, and 4. And so with all of them here as well, we have 4 generations alive here on the farm, and fairly active involved with the farm as well. It's pretty cool. We have processing days early this spring before the interns came, and my grandma was down at the end QCing the chickens, and Travis and Andrew were lunging, and so we had all, and Dad was gutting and I was killing. We had all 4 generations processing chickens. Pretty cool, and a pretty neat experience to be involved in, and kind of a lot about what we're trying to do is, you know, a legacy and leaving something better, and knowing that it's not just for us here and now, it's for generations to come and generations before. So it's a neat thing there. When they bought the farm in 1961, they bought it because it was something they could afford, and the reason they could afford it was because it was the most worn out rock pile, just destroyed farm in the county, just period. It was just rock, it was devil shoestring, it was shale outcroppings, ditches. As we drive through this field here, we'll roll past the boilers, and there's a swale that we'll go through. That ditch has horse-drawn equipment, cars, and all sorts of stuff in a 10-foot gully that was covered up in an effort to restore everything and get a field back. But just because of the devastation of years and years of plowing and cultivating and managing it in a monoculture type setting. And the other thing to keep in mind as we go through the fields and everything, that since '61 there hasn't been an ounce of chemical fertilizer, pesticides, or herbicides spread on the farm, or purchased seed in those 51 years. So everything that you're seeing has come because of management, of the way the animals should be run, attention to fertility, and a desire for keeping the earthworms happy. And we'll readdress that as we go throughout the tour. That'll be a common theme of managing the soil and the ecosystem that's below our feet is much more important than managing what we can see. Okay, down below the soil is much more important than what we see on top of the soil. So we'll readdress some of those as well. Okay, let's go. We're going to go on up to the chicken pen.